Welcome to the Billboard Mastery Podcast, where you will learn the correct way to identify, evaluate, negotiate, perform due diligence on, select the construction type, build, rent the ad space, and operate billboard signs. And now, here is your host, the guy that built from scratch the largest privately owned billboard company in Dallas-Fort Worth, Frank Rolfe.
Everyone knows who Elon Musk is. He's the founder of PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink. So many other companies in America have been founded by one guy, Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is notorious when he starts all these different ventures of using what he calls a mindset called founder mode. This is Frank Rolfe, the Billboard Mastery Podcast. We're going to discuss what founder mode is and how you can use some of the attributes that Musk uses to greater advance your billboard business. Now, what is founder mode? What is Elon Musk even talking about? What he does is he goes into a zone when he starts a business, which he is so intensely focused that he puts all of his time and energy on the business, and it translates to where he never even goes home. When Musk started Tesla, he delighted in always being in his office 24 hours a day. He wanted every shift at Tesla, all 3 shifts daily, to when they got there, to see him in his office with the lights on. Now, of course, he'd have to sleep at some periods in there, but he was known to sleep right in his office. Just sleep right on the sofa, maybe on the floor, because he wanted to send the word to everybody that, oh my gosh, we better work hard because look at old Elon. He's never even going home. He is all over it. Now, I'm not advocating that you can be like that. I don't know that you have the ability, the freedom to work 24 hours a day. You probably don't have to impress people coming in on a night shift with whatever you're doing. But there are some attributes to a founder mode mentality that are worthy of discussion. Let's first get serious about time. In a typical week, you have 168 hours. That's just 24 times 7. And from that 168 hours, let's subtract 40 hours of that for your day job, and another 56 hours of that was sleep. But after you take out the 40-hour work week and the 56 hours of 8 hours a night sleep time, that still leaves you 72 hours a week of free time. Time that's not dedicated to any certain endeavor that you can use and apportion to whatever it is that you want to do. That's a huge amount of time. Now, if you take the 40 hours of a week of work and the 56 hours of sleep, that's 96 hours. You've got almost as much free time at 72 hours as you do in all of your commitments of sleep and work. So you have a vast amount of time that you can reallocate to the billboard industry or whatever you want to do. So it's never right to say, oh, I don't have time. No, you definitely have time. It's simply how you allocate it. And it's very important if you want to have more of a founder mode mentality, you've got to eliminate all the waste, all the time that you waste on stuff that doesn't matter at all. Back when I was at Stanford University as an undergraduate, there was a guy in my dorm who was in pre-med, and he was also the captain of a sports team. And he was making straight A's pre-med, and he was also the captain of this team. And one time I asked him, I said, how do you do it? How in the world do you have straight A's in pre-med, the hardest discipline at Stanford, and you're also the captain of a sports team? And I'll never forget what he told me. He said, here's how I do it. I work hard, and I play hard, and I cut out everything in between. I don't watch TV. I don't chit-chat with people. I don't just hang out. I'm either studying or I'm doing something else meaningful. That was his playbook. And I thought, you know what? That's true. If I looked at my day or anyone looked at their average day and you said, okay, now what of this time is really getting me somewhere? So much of it isn't. If you spend an hour a day watching TV, that's not really getting you anywhere. But if you reallocated that hour to something else that's meaningful, then your life would be advanced a whole lot better. Another thing you got to think about in the founder mentality is working smarter. Now, Elon Musk is a master at cutting through the BS and getting to what is a real key driver to success and focusing on that. That's how he took Tesla from the idea of an EV vehicle and was able to springboard that ahead of everyone else in the world who manufactured cars to create his own new kind of car, because he kind of thinks outside the box. He kind of cuts out all the other distractions that stop people. He says, no, I think I'll give this a fresh approach. And there was a book written not that long ago called A 4-Hour Work Week. And the truth is, there is a lot that most people can do to work smarter so they have to put in less time. I'm not saying you can get your work week condensed to 4 hours, but definitely all of us can look back on what we do and see if there's greater time efficiency. If we could change things up a little bit to cut out waste, to cut out time that's spent on things that we don't really need. Sometimes it's just about organizing your time. If you go to the grocery store and you have to go 5 times in 1 week because you don't write down what you need, and then you realize if you just write down what you need at the grocery store and then condense that into one trip, how much time did you just save? Probably several hours a week of time we all waste doing things because it's just simply not organized. Also, if you want to have a fender mentality, you have to live by a simple mantra that, I only live once, and I don't want to have any regrets on my deathbed of things I didn't do. So I want to maximize my time. I want to get the most out of it. It's been said that most of us at the end, we don't regret things we did. What we regret are things that we didn't do. And often we didn't do them because we thought to ourselves we don't have the time to do it, but that's because we potentially have squandered our time. Finally, if you want to have a founder mode for most people, you need to try and turn your use of time into a game. People generally have more fun when things are in the form of a game, and we all like playing video games and ping pong and different sports, but why not turn your time into that too? Turn your achievements into that. Start off every year with a lengthy list of goals that you want to hit, and then focus on a regular basis, how am I doing on hitting that goal? That makes life so much more pleasurable when you can follow along with your success or failure as we go and modify your results. It's kind of like a GPS system for your life. You know what the goals are you're trying to attain. If you get off the track, you can reorient and get back on the track. Bottom line to it is, there's a lot to learn about Musk and his concept of the founder mode. Maybe you're not going to go ahead and start an electric vehicle company or Starlink, but you definitely can make great inroads, an additional stream of income, or even a career change in the billboard industry. And you definitely do have the time. This is Frank Rolfe, the Billboard Mastery Podcast. Hope you enjoyed this. Talk to you again soon.
Thank you for listening to the Billboard Mastery Podcast. Be sure to visit us at www.billboardmastery.com, where you can find past episodes of this show, plus an array of information to help you successfully build, buy, and operate billboard signs.